Dear students, now we are going to discuss about the story The Summer of Beautiful White Horse. Introduction. This story was written by William Saroyan. He was a famous Armenian American novelist, playwright and short story writer. He wrote extensively about the Armenian immigrant life in California. In this story, the young boy Aram explains the underlying philosophies of his large extended family. Although they were poor, they were known for their honesty and trust. They never took advantage of others and they were not thieves. Let us see the important characters of the story. Aram, a 9-year-old Armenian boy belonging to Kogalinian tribe. Maurad, Armenian boy of 13-year-old belonging to Kogalinian tribe, and he was a cousin of Aram. Khosrow, Aram's uncle, he was a crazy person with a powerful head. John Byro, a farmer and a owner of the horse, and narrator's mother. These are all the important characters. Dear students, let us see the summary of this story. One day, 9-year-old Aram was asleep and was in a world of extremely beautiful imagination. His life was pleasant and kind of in a mysterious dream. His cousin Maurad showed up on the window of his room at 4 in the morning. He called Aram, who jumped out of his bed and still couldn't believe what he saw out of the window. It was dawn and there was light enough outside to make him see outside what made him believe he was not dreaming. Maurad was sitting on a white horse. Aram rubbed his eyes and stuck out of his head out of the window. Maurad assured him it was not a dream. He asked if he wanted to ride, he must make it quick. Maurad was the type of person who enjoyed being alive, but Aram couldn't believe that he was seeing a horse in front of him. Aram's earliest memory was of horses and he always wanted to ride one. Aram's family was poor and had no money, so it was difficult for him to believe in what he saw outside his house. He belonged to the Kogalin family that was strictly and funnily in poverty. They didn't even know how they managed to get food for themselves every day. Although his tribe was poor, they are known for their honesty for 11 centuries. No one from their family would ever steal anything or would take advantage of anyone in the world. Aram was so excited that he was seeing a horse that was so pleasant and beautiful. He could smell it and hear it breathing and still couldn't believe that Maurad or anyone in the family could afford a horse. He was thinking if Maurad had stolen the horse, but he didn't believe it as he thought no one in his family could be a thief. He stared at his cousin and then at the horse. He asked Maurad if he had stolen the horse. Maurad replied, if he wants a ride, he must jump out of the window. Aram was convinced that the horse was stolen by Maurad. Aram tried to convince himself that it was not the same as stealing money, as they both were so crazy about riding horse. Aram thought that it would not be called stealing until they decide to sell it, which they would never do. Aram said he will wear some clothes and come outside. He jumped down to his yard from his room's window and sat on the horse behind his cousin Maurad. Aram lived at the edge of the town on Walnut Avenue. There were orchards, vineyards, irrigation ditches, and country roads behind his house. The air felt new and lovely to breathe. Aram felt wonderful sitting on the horse which was running. Maurad started singing loudly, who was considered one of the graciest members of the family. Uncle Khosrow was the one huge man with black hair and the largest mustache in the valley. Uncle Khosrow had an energetic temper and was an impatient which was irritating. He used to make anyone stop talking by roaring and say, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." Maurad's father was a practical person. A child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his nature and attitude just the same. There are different kinds of people in their tribes, moody and without any settled work or home. Maurad asked him to get down as he wanted to ride alone. Aram asked if he could ride the horse alone. He said it is up to the horse if he wants to ride you alone, and asked him to get Maurad down again. Aram got down while telling him that he will ride the horse alone. Maurad kicked the horse and shouted, "Run to him." Maurer raced the horse across the field of dry grass and irrigation ditches. When they arrived 5 minutes later, they were wet. Arm told him it was his turn to ride. Maurer got off and Arm sat on the horse. He was fearful, and the horse did not move. Arm kicked into the muscles of the horse, to which the horse again raced and breathed out. The horse began to run, and Am did not know what to do next. The horse started going towards the road that leads to the vineyard. It began to move over vineyard, and Aram fell down. The horse continued to run, and Maurad came running down the road towards him. Maurad told him that he is not worried about him, but they need to find the horse. Aram and Maurad went different ways to find the horse. Aram looked for the horse down the road, and Maurad went towards the irrigation ditch, and he came back after 30 minutes with the horse. Maurad was not worried, and Aram knew that Maurad would hide the horse somewhere and not take him back for a while. Aram eagerly asked him when he stole the horse. Maurad sat him down by asking a counter question about who talks about stealing a horse. Aram tried to change the question by asking him since how long was he riding the horse every morning. Maurad walked the horse quietly towards the barn of the deserted vineyard. It belonged to a farmer named Fedwagen. The barn had some oats and alfalfa. They started walking home. Aram surprisingly asked him how he controlled the horse, to which Maurad said he has an understanding with the horse. Aram asked him what sort of understanding did he has with him, to which Maurad told him a simple and honest one. Aram confessed, and he would also like to know how to have an understanding with the horse. Maurad assured Aram by saying that he is still a small boy. He will learn when he will be 13. Aram went home and ate breakfast. That day, his uncle Khosrow visited his house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor and was remembering the old country when a person came to visit him. He was John Byro, a farmer who learned to speak Armenian because of loneliness. His mother bought Byro some coffee and tobacco. He sipped and smoked and told them about his missing white horse, who was stolen last month, and he is not able to find it. Khosrow roared again that it is no harm, and shouted that why he was crying over lost horse when they had lost their homeland. John Byro told him that he walked down 10 miles to come here. Khosrow again shouted that he has legs too, which John said his left leg hurt. Khosrow again tried to shut him down by saying that he should not pay attention to it. Aram's mother told him that John had a gentle heart, and as he was homesick and he was such a large man. Aram went to Maurad. He was sitting under a peach tree. Aram told him about John Byro and how he visited their house and he wanted his horse. Aram asked him not to return the horse until he learns to ride it. Maurad told Aram that it will take him a whole year to learn to ride a horse. Aram said they could keep him for a year then. He declared that the horse should go to his true owner. Aram asked when would they have to return the horse, to which Maurad said in 6 months. They both would take the horse out of the barn and ride it. Once on the way to the deserted vineyard to hide the horse again, they meet John Barrow, who was on his way to town. Maurad insisted on talking to him as he had a way with farmers. Maurad wished him good morning, and Barrow saw the horse carefully. Barrow wished them back and asked the name of the horse. Maurad said, "My heart," in Armenian language. Barrow complimented that it was a lovely name for a lovely horse. He swore that it was his horse that was stolen weeks ago. He asked if he could look into his mouth. After looking from tooth to tooth, it said it was his horse if he did not know his parents. John Barrow said the horse was a twin of his horse. He further said that his family is all of our honesty, but the horse looks just like as one he lost. A man who is suspicious would easily believe his eyes and not his heart. He wished them and went away. The next morning they took the horse. Aram and Maurad took the horse back to John Barrow's vineyard and put it in his barn. That same afternoon John Barrow came to Aram's house and showed his mother his horse that returned. Uncle Khosrow again, who was in the parlour, again shouted, irritated, "Quiet, man, quiet! Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it." Dear students, this is the summary of the story, the summary of Beautiful White Horse. I hope you all understand the story. Thank you.